0, let's practice. Write a rate as a fraction in lowest terms. So 2250, and that's mLs and 3 bottles. So basically, what was the rule for reducing by 3? If you have 2 plus 2 plus 5 plus 0, that equals 9. 9 is divisible by 3, so that means 3 does go into this 2250. So I get out my calculator and I go 2250 divided by 3, and I get 750 milliliters per bottle. That is considered a unit rate, right? They didn't ask that, but oops. Whoa. Sorry. Here we go. It still looks like a V. It's hard to write on this. Okay. Next one is simplify the rate of cans of soda compared to people. Basically, we're talking divisibility rules. Do you remember divisibility tests? Something is divisible by 3 if you can add up all its digits and it comes up with a number that's completely divisible by 3. Divisible by 2, it's what? The last digit? Last digit is even. Okay, so far neither one of those work for this one, but the last one, if last digit ends in 5 or 0, if the last digit is 5 or 0, or the number ends in 5 or 0, that means it's divisible by 5. Okay, so that means 80 divided by 5 and 45 divided by 5. That's 16 cans and per 9 people. People. Wow. Sorry. People. There we go. Okay. So it's a rate. Cans per people. Okay. We want to keep those units when they ask about that. Remember the difference between a rate and a fraction is context, okay? Fraction is just a numerical number over another number, 1 over 2, okay? If it's a rate, if it's 1 bottle per 2 people, okay? It has to do with the units. All right, a ratio, enter the ratio as a fraction in lowest terms, 112 minutes. And 88 minutes. Let's see. Those are divisible by what? They're both even, so divisible by 2. We can start there. 112 divided by 2 is 56 over 88 divided by 2 is 44, so I should have done more. Let's divide by, 56 divisible by 4. Yes, it is. Let's try 4. So, 14 over 11. So, I could have divided by 8 to start with. That would have worked. Or 2, then another 2. Just make sure it goes down all the way it can. And this is the ratio of minutes. Okay. You can say 14 to 11. You can say 14 over 11. You could literally say 14 to 11 is the ratio. Okay. Any one of these things. Most of the time I think they want the fraction. All right. If Tom texts his pulse for 9 minutes, what is his rate if he counts the beats? So he has 783 beats per minute. That's just a phrase you normally hear. So I'm going to write it that way. This is what this is. 783 beats per 9 minutes. So we want to know a beats per minute. So we want a unit rate. Okay, so Does 9 go into, let's try. So 783 divided by 9, yep, is 87. So this translates to 87 beats per minute. Okay. Number 5, a recipe for oatmeal cookies calls for 5 cups of flour for every 6 cups of it's not a cube, oatmeal. How much flour is needed for a bigger batch of cookies that wants to use 18 cups of oatmeal? Okay, I already decided to put the oatmeal on the bottom, so I need to match that with cups of oatmeal on the bottom, and that means I don't know how much cups of flour I need on the top. So personally, I see a 6 and an 18, and I know the 6 was multiplied by 3, so this is multiplied by 3, so that means x equals 15. If you want to cross multiply, it would be 5 times 18 is going to equal whatever 6x times x is. So 5 times 18 is 90 equals 6x divided by 6, and then solve it the algebraic way with cross multiplication. 90 divided by 6 better be 15, right? So either way, I'm showing my work here. All right. Making this a true proportion, right? Because this equation equals this equation. If you take 15 over 18 and we're asked to reduce it, you would divide by 3 and get the 5 over 6, right? So equivalent fractions. All right, Kelsey walked 5 miles in 50 minutes. And how far is she going to walk in 80 minutes? Okay, so don't know how many miles. Okay, and then if necessary, round your answer to the nearest tenth of a mile. So that sounds like it's going to be a decimal. So I'm going to cross multiply and do 5 times 80 is going to equal 50x. 5 times 80 is 400 equals 50x. Divide by 50 is 8. Well, didn't turn out to be a decimal. 8 miles. What is, let's see. What is, so 80 divided by 50 is 1.6. So 50 times 1.6 gets you the 80. So 5 times 1.6, I'm just checking another way. 5 times 1.6 gives you 8. Okay. That works. So 80 divided by 50. So this would be the equivalent fraction method versus the cross multiplication method. Either one. 80 divided by 50 is 1.6. So if I multiply 5 times 1.6, I'll get the 8 over there to make an equivalent fraction. Okay. All right. Number 7. Suppose you work at a large coffee distributor and they have a secret coffee blend. You want to mix the Corona blend with the house blend in the same proportion. All right, so we have 90 pounds of Kona blend with 36 pounds of house blend. Today there is only 20 pounds of the Kona. So over here I put the 90, the Kona on top. So over here the Kona goes on top, and then it says how much house is left. So you can put an X there if you wanted. Okay, so I can reduce the 90 by 20 and go 20 divided by 90 is 4.5. So I can divide by 4.5, my 36 divided by 4.5, and that gives me an 8. Let's check by cross multiplication. We have 90x equals 20 times 36 times 30. I'm just checking all my numbers here to make sure I didn't make a mistake. 90x equals 720 divided by 90. Hopefully that's an 8, right? Yep. Okay, so either way. All right. Solve the proportion. That's a proportion. It's doesn't have the units in it. so you could actually call it equivalent fractions. How do you go from a 9 to an 18? Well, what's 18 divided by 9? That's just a 2, right? So what's that number times 2? 262 times 2 is 324. You could also cross multiply. 9n equals 18 times 162. 18 times 162 is some big whopper number. And then divide by 9. This is the algebraic way, which you may or may not want to know yet. Okay, but it's the same way. I just made equivalent fractions too. All right, and this last one is a conversion, because here's my conversion factor. So what they gave me in the problem is 2.7 liters. And I multiply, let's see, I want to get rid of the liters, so I'm putting them down here, and I want milliliters instead. So up here there's a 1 next to the liter and 1,000 next to the milliliter, so this is a multiplication. This is 2.7 times 1,000, so that I'll take that as work, whichever one. And that's going to be 2,700 milliliters as an answer. Okay, so given times conversion using the factor label method. If you just give me this, that's fine too. Okay. Let's see. This is another conversion, obviously, and it's giving me millimeters. 2, 3, 5, 9 millimeters versus milliliters. Okay, millimeters. And the conversion, let's see, I want to get rid of the millimeters, and I want meters instead. And up here, the 1 is next to the meters, and the 1,000 is next to the millimeters. So this is a division problem. So if you wrote this part as your work, I can take that, and that's going to turn out to what? 2.359 meters. Okay?